If you all are clear, you have to solve the next question. If you're not able to solve the next question, iska matlab you were not clear on this. Let's solve this. By the way, this is one of the SimCAT questions, and only what I think 8 or 9% of the students were able to solve this question in mock. And the average time for this question was around 1 minute something. Here we said दो साल पहले की बात है. Very good. Answer is 0. Why? Simple thing, right? This is what? This is the distance of x from -7, -4, 4, and 7. So of course, if I have to minimize the distance, the minimum distance, say this is x. This distance from these two will be 8. Distance from these two will be 14. 14 plus 8, 22 is going to be the minimum distance no matter what I do. So if 22 is the minimum distance, it will never be less than 22. So the values have to be 0. Now, this question, it could also be for how many values will it be less than equals to 22? Then this becomes tricky, right? Key. Then please solve it. Key. If you have to make it 22, of course, has to be between -7 and 7 and has to be between -4 and 4. So for all the values between -4 and 4, the distance is always going to be 22. So how many values are this? 9. Guys, the only catch is it will still be infinity, right? Because how many values are there? There are infinite values between this. Agar question hota, for how many integral values of x will it be less than equals to 22, then the answer would have been 9. Okay. So just be careful about the language of the question. Integral, non-integral will change a lot of things. Everyone clear? Perfect. I'm hoping not a single student is having doubt here. Right? Okay, cool. Next question. Please solve this. You all know how to solve it. It's just who can do it faster, who can apply some concept and solve it faster. काफी अच्छा question है. And a perfect CAT level question. जहाँ पे everyone knows how to solve it, but still it takes time. The right answer to this question is Mayank का answer. Answer is 43. See, how do you solve this? यार एक क्वेश्चन देखा, बहुत ही सारी वेरिएबल्स है, राइट? आई डोंट नो, मतलब बहुत बड़ा एक्सप्रेशन है, राइट? व्हाइल आई नो द मेथड, बट आई हैव टू प्लॉट ऑल द वैल्यूज, राइट? एंड इतनी सारी वैल्यूज में प्लॉट नहीं कर सकता. सो व्हाट आई विल डू इज, मैं पहले छोटे से, ठीक है, तो आई विल फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल चेक कि यार एक टोटल टर्म्स कितनी है यहाँ पे. 11, 15, 19. तो इट इज बिकमिंग एन एपी, राइट? सो हाउ मेनी टर्म्स आर देयर? 99 इज इक्वल्स टू 11 प्लस n minus 1 into 4 का है common difference. So this is what n is 23. So in total there are 23 number of terms. 23 is an odd number. So maybe I'll just take 3 terms and then try to find the pattern. यार कुछ pattern बन रहा है क्या इसमें? 15 and k minus 19 less than 0. अगर ये होगा तो मेरा आंसर क्या होगा? 11, 15, 19. My answer will be k has to be less than 11 union 15, 90. Now this is what will happen if there are 3 terms, but there are in total what 23 terms, right? So 3 terms में ये होगा. अभी मुझे बस ये देखना है कि यार 23 terms में क्या होगा, right? So of course this pattern is going to then simply continue. 15, 19, फिर क्या होगा? 23, 27, so on and so forth till what 95 to 99. K less than 11 में I know that k has to be positive integer, right? So k has to be greater than or equals to 1. So k less than 11 mein how many terms are there? K can be 1 to 10. There are 10 terms. In each bucket, how many terms do I have? 15 to 19 पे open bracket है. So 16, 17, 18. In each bucket, I have 3 values, right? So 10 यहाँ पे हो गया. Plus every bucket में I have 3 values. All I need to do is how many buckets are there? 15, 19, 23, 27. कितनी buckets? वापस से AP का फॉर्मूला लगा दूंगा, राइट? लास्ट बकेट इज 95, फर्स्ट बकेट इज 15. So 95 is equals to 15 plus n minus 1 into d. A common difference कितना है? 15. The next bucket is starting from 23. So 15 and 23 में difference कितना? 8. So this is 80. N minus 1 into 8 is 80. N minus 1 is 10. N is 11. In total, I have 11 buckets. So 33 plus 10 is 43 is the total number of values of k. A very good concept. AP say you will do it faster. The number of terms kitni hai, and then it's simple inequality. Clear everyone? The question I'll give it to you in the form of homework. ठीक है? Try करना ये वाला question. Answer is इसका answer is 25. Solve करना and discuss it in the batch group अगर नहीं हुआ. So just some concepts. Whenever minimum maximum value is asked for any expression, right? It's always good. Like या तो variables को equate करके check कर लो, और जो भी extreme values है x की, right? If it is 6 minus 3, x minus 5, और अगर x का कोई range given है, right? Then usually minimum और maximum values या तो extreme points पे होती है या उन points पे होती है जहाँ पे variables equal होते हैं, और जो भी critical point होता है, right? So like ये जो points होते हैं where the so it is same as what we did earlier, right? X minus 3, x minus 5. So this is 0, 3 and 5, right? So what I'm saying is these are like different, अगर तुम्हें objectively solve करना है, these are different points at which you may want to check the values. Critical points पे check कर लो. Then एक method और होता है minimum maxima का, aim greater than equals to gm, greater than equals to hm, right? This is how you also solve a lot of minimum maximum questions. Then mod of a plus 1 by is always greater than equals to 2. This identity also helps you a lot of times in finding minimum maximum value. So just a recap of whatever we have learned so far, so that in the upcoming questions we know अगर एक method काम नहीं कर रहा है तो हमें क्या लगाना है. Just some concepts, and I don't want you to इसको मतलब I want you to know this and have it on fingertips, but again इसको रटना नहीं है blindly, इसको थोड़ा समझना है कि if sum of the variable is constant, product of two variable will be maximum when the numbers are equal or as close as possible. इसका क्या मतलब हुआ? Say a plus b is maximum is 36 और आपको a into b को maximum करना है. So what we are saying is a into b maximum, product maximum तब होगा जब numbers या तो equal होंगे या numbers बहुत पास में होंगे. So if a is equals to b, a is equals to 18 because equality is true. So when a is 18 and b is 18, only then ab will be maximum. You can also try it, right? 35 comma 1 is one of the solutions. So 35 into 1, 18 into 18, right? Of course 18 into 18 is like bigger than this. So यहाँ से ये निकल भी रहा है कि product always gets maximum when the numbers are as close as possible. अभी if a and b are integers, right? And if a plus b is 17, then of course a can't be equals to b. So 8 into 9, when a is 8, b is 9, or when a is 9, b is 8, then ab will be maximum because these are as close to each other. So maximum value of ab here will be what? 72. So these are some theorems, some identities that helps you solve questions faster. जब भी sum constant है, product maximum तब होगा जब numbers are equal or as close as possible. Similarly, अगर product constant given है, AB is equals to 124, तो sum minimum होगा जब numbers are equal or as close as possible. So yeah, that's it. Is this clear? These two identities. इसको ध्यान में रखना and try to apply it in subsequent questions. Okay, so you always try कि variables equal हो जाए. अगर equal नहीं हो रहे, because say AB is equals to 132, because 132 is what? 12 into 11. So 132 is not a perfect square, so A can't be equals to B. So the next value will be as close as possible. So 11 into 12 has to be the value if you want sum to be minimized. आगे बढ़े. Let's solve the questions on this. ठीक है. Before we move on, some identities here. If ax plus, this is not bx, I think this has to be by. if ax plus by is equals to k और सारे variables are positive, मतलब इसको तो I don't even want you to remember, it is simple, right? जब हम aim gm करेंगे, when we do aim gm, you can simply prove it in one line for this. So if ax plus by is equals to k और x to the power m into y to the power n को आपको maximum करना है, so sum is constant, you want product to be maximum. पहले में क्या था? Sum is constant, product is maximum, and the numbers are equal or as close as possible. But the only catch was यहाँ पे coefficient was 1. Here it is an extension to that. The only thing is coefficient is not 1, it is a, and यहाँ पे power is m. So when this happens, what you do is, मैंने कहा था कि variables have to be same, right? So when a and m is equals to 1 and b and n is equals to 1, तो ये हमारा पुराना वाला केस बन गया कि when x is equals to y, only then this will happen. But because here you have non-one variables, the final formula becomes ax by m is equals to by n. You can also prove it because ये क्या है, आपको यहाँ पे basically power m चाहिए है. तो if you apply am greater than equals to gm में you want a power m in terms of x, so you will have to break ax into m terms. How do you break it into m terms? You'll simply write it as ax by m plus x by m plus this for m number of times, right? Simply you want y to the power m, so you break by into n terms like this. अभी भी ये like same ही चीज लिखा हुआ है, right? n number of times. But now you can go and apply am greater than equals to gm का formula. So this upon what? These are m terms, these are n terms, right? So there's nothing but m plus n greater than equals to gm, right? So what is gm in terms का? You just multiply all the terms. So ये क्या आ जाएगा? a by m to the power m. Like I'm just trying to prove it so that you know कि ठीक है, this makes sense. ये सारे constant terms बाहर ले आया मैं, x to the power m into y to the power n, and इसका whole power 1 upon m plus n, right? This is what gm is. You just multiply all the terms to the power 1 by number of terms. So, and you want इसको तुम्हें maximum करना है, x to the power m into y to the power n को maximum करना है, right? ये तो constant है, ये भी constant है. So x to the power m into y to the power n को maximum करना है. उसके लिए क्या करना पड़ेगा? This will be maximum. उसका maximum value कितना होगा ये? Right? Because other terms are simply constant. And we know कि am is equals to gm. कब होता है? The inequality holds only when the individual variables are equal. Again, I have already explained it to you either in the topic of equations या functions में ये मैंने explain किया है कि equality तभी hold करती है when the terms are equal. So अगर मुझे इसको maximize करना है, I have to make this equality hold true, and for me to make this equality hold true, the variables have to be equal. So variables क्या है मेरे? ax by m and by n. These terms have to be equal, only then this equality will hold true, and only then this will be maximum. So this is the proof for this particular expression. Fundamentally समझ आया? Like how do I prove these theorems? Simply am greater than equals to gm से you can even prove it. For now you can as well remember this thing. नीचे वाला thing भी same है. इसमें क्या given है? इसमें product is given, x to the power m into y to the power n is constant, and sum को minimum करना है. So same thing, ax by m is equals to by n. Same thing जो अभी अपन formula लगा रहे थे, right? Same ही है. am greater than equals to gm. ये इसको am की terms में लिखोगे, इसका minimum कब होगा? When this equality holds true. Hence the variables have to be same, and these are the variables. So these were just some concepts. Based on these concepts, these are the, like, again, I don't want you to solve it, just go through it and make sure you understand it. If sum is constant, product maximum कब होगा? When a by m is equals to b by n. Same thing जो अभी हमने पीछे किया था, just यहाँ पे coefficient is 1. So that's it. So one application of this is radius plus height is equals to 12 in cylinder. Cylinder का maximum volume बताओ. Cylinder का volume क्या होता है? Pi r square h, right? So volume maximum करने के लिए you have to maximize r square h. अभी when sum is given and you have to maximize r square h. So just use this. Sum is given, right? Sum is given as 12, and you have to maximize this. यहाँ पे m is 2 and n is 1. So simply a by 2 is equals to b by 1. यहाँ पे a क्या है, r है, और b क्या है, h है. So when r by 2 is equals to h by 1, which means when radius is equals to 2 height, twice into height, then the volume becomes maximum. So when radius is twice height, radius plus height is 12, r निकल जाएगा, h निकल जाएगा, and you can find the maximum value. या तो वैसे कर लो, या फिर am greater than equals to gm लगा लो. Either ways, you can solve it. Is this example clear to everyone? How do you apply whatever we have just learned? I'm picking up speed. Please pay 100% attention. You can't afford to miss this. Next thing मैंने same लिखा है. Same चीज को मैं 10 बार लिख चुका हूँ. So you must by heart this now. K1 by m is equals to K2 by n. तभी ये होगा. Same यहाँ पे, right? A plus B को minimum करना है. इसका यहाँ पे a K1 is 1. So 1 by m is equals to, sorry, a by m is equals to b by n. Only then this will happen. नीचे वाला चीज भी exactly same लिखा है. Then last thing is something that we already know. X plus 1 by x is greater than 2 when x is positive. X plus 1 by x is less than equals to minus 2 when x is negative. Aim greater than gm वाला concept है. ठीक है, आगे बढ़े. All the 7 ones, right? ठीक है. Now let's solve some examples. Should not take more than 20-30 seconds. अभी हमने बहुत रिवीजन किया. Sum is 18, maximum ही लगाना है, right? First thing, कोई भी rule काम नहीं आ रहा, right? This is not a to the power n something. So simply am greater than equals to gm लगाने का try करना है. A plus 1, b plus 2, c plus 3 are the terms, which means I'll have to find the am of these three terms, equate it here, and find the maximum value. Simple, right? Am greater than equals. Guys, is there anyone who does not know am gm क्या होता है? Expectation है सबको पता है am gm क्या होता है. Any student who does not know am gm, you bring it in this format: a plus 1 plus b, a plus, see, am greater than equals to gm you can only apply when the variables are positive. So you apply that am gm का concept on these three variables. A is positive, तो ये तीनों numbers positive ही होंगे. How many terms are there? These are three terms. So this is am greater than equals to gm. ये जो पूरी टर्म है a plus 1 into b plus 2 into c plus 3 to the power 1 by 3. तो इसका minimum value निकालना है. तो you will take whole cube of on both the sides, right? यहाँ पे भी cube ले लोगे, यहाँ पे भी cube ले लोगे, and this will be your, this is always less than equals to this. So this is the maximum value. ये कितना है? a plus b plus c is 18. 3 plus 2 plus 1 is 6. 18 plus 6 is 24. 24 by 3 is 8. So this is 8 to the power 3. Is your answer. 8 to the power 3. So here, if you want, like, if I ask you this question, ki, when will this happen? This will happen when the variables will be equal, which means a plus 1 is equals to b plus 2 is equals to c plus 3. When this happens, then whatever you're saying will make sense. So a has to be b plus 1 and b has to be c plus 1. Then you can put these values here, find the values for a, b, and c. See, if I'm confused, I'll simply still use the same method, right? A plus 1 plus b plus 1 by 3 plus c plus 1 by 3. So these are equal when the variables are equal. Variables will be equal when a is equals to b equals to c. So yeah, check should hold true. So this is a foolproof method. Now whatever shortcut you want to apply, just cross check if it is coming via this or not. All this, be very careful on when do you apply AMGM. See, let's see, right? What is given in the question? First, A, B, C, right? Sum is constant, numbers maximum, minimum. First question, second question, and third question. First question. What we know is sum is minimum when numbers are as close as each other, right? And here in the first question, ABC could be anything. ABC, there is no constraint. Okay. So if there is no constraint in A, B, and C, can I think of a very high? and I want to maximize this, right? So while you know the identities, you should also know, like, first thing is just try to observe. Can I take A as, say, a 10 crores? If I take A as 10 crore, I have to maximize A into B into C, right? So if I have to maximize it, what do I do? Can I take, so if I have to maximize it, which means I have to make A into B into C as positive. So if one is positive, the other two has to be negative, so that negative into negative is positive. So maybe can I take it as, say, minus 5 crores? And can I take C as minus 5 crores? Say plus 30 and say this is right. So like something like this, right? So that if I add A plus B plus C, this entire 10 crore gets cancelled and the sum is only 30. But if I multiply it, right, then negative into negative becomes a very high positive number, and this is already a very high positive number. So what I know is if there is no constraint on ABC, the maximum value could be a very high number, which is what? Infinity. And similarly, if I have to find the minimum value, what about minimum ABC? Minimum ABC could be when it is getting negative, right? So I only want one value to be negative. So if I only want one value to be negative, maybe can I have A as, say, 10 crores, B as another 10 crores, and C as, say, minus 20 crore. So that when I add all of it, the sum comes out to be 30, but when I multiply it, it becomes a very high negative number. So if there is no constraint on this, the minimum value could be minus infinity. So maximum is infinity, minimum is minus infinity. I just took time to explain you how do you think on taking any high values. This is when there is no constraint on A, B, and C, right? And hence you can't apply AM, GM also. But if A, B, C are positive real numbers, right? Then to simply you can apply AM greater than or equals to GM. So 30 by 10 is the AM. Sorry, 30 by 3 is the AM. So GM has to be 10, which means the multiplication has to be 10 cube. Either this, or what you do is, if you want sum to be minimum, take the numbers as close as possible or equal. So take A equals to B equals to C equals to 10. So yeah, then 10 cube will be your maximum value of product. So this is 10 cube, which is 1000. And if you need to take the minimum value here, right? So just remember, if you want to multiply three numbers and want to make it very minimal, right? Then what do? You take one number as like very, very, very small. Say so many 0, 1. This is, say, your A. So that when you multiply this with any other two numbers, right, the net multiplication comes out to be negative. Say B is 15 and say C is 14.99999, right? So that if you add these two, you become 15. If you add it, the sum becomes 13. But when you multiply it, the number becomes very, very, very small, right? So now, hence, the minimum value here could be what? It will be tending to 0. Not exactly 0. Of course, it can't be 0 because these are like positive real numbers, but it will be like just greater than 0. So a very, like, something which we call in mathematical terms 0 plus or greater than 0 is the minimum value, 0.00001. That is what it will be if this is the question. But in third part, when it is given that the variables are natural numbers, but these are distinct. So again, if numbers can't be same, they have to be as close as possible to each other, right? So in the second question, I took numbers as 10, 10, 10. Here I can take it same, so I'll take it as close as possible. So natural numbers as close to 10 will be what? 9, 10, and 11. These are the three natural numbers which are as close to each other. So the maximum sum could be what? 9 into 10 into 11, 990 will be the maximum sum. And again, if you have to take the minimum sum, you take the numbers as away from each other, right? So for example, okay, I think my bad. Here, if I have to take the minimum value, I'll take it as 29.999, right? So like something like that is what I'll take, so that the numbers are as away from each other. Similarly, if I want numbers to be as away from each other, the minimum value for A could be 1. The second one could be 2. So the maximum value of any other variable could be what? 27. So if I multiply all of it, the minimum value for 3 variables will be what? 54. So the answer to the third question, minimum ABC is nothing but 54, maximum is 990. Concept is product is minimum when numbers are away from each other. So 1, 2, and 27. 27 and 1, the range is very high. Sum is maximum when the numbers are as close to each other. Right? So yeah, that completes this question. I don't think anyone has gotten it right, but is this clear to everyone? Okay, minimum in part 2, 0. Can anyone explain, Mohit, on his question? Any student who got it? Why minimum is 0 and it can't be minus infinity?
So it's positive real numbers.
Very good. So Mohit, clear? 3 positive real numbers. Multiplication can't be negative.
Okay, so if there would be negative real numbers included, then would it be minus infinity?
Yes.
Okay.
But then maximum value would have been 0 because product of 3 negative numbers can't be positive. I know this was a very काफी दिमाग लगाने वाला question था. Are you guys liking it? Making sense? Have you solved such questions earlier? Learning something new? And chalo, ठीक है. So let's move on to another very advanced, I think one of the most advanced questions. If this comes in CAT, even I would have left this particular question, but it's always good to learn so that we get confidence on the topic, right? All this. While I'm very confident, none of you would be able to solve it, but still at least give 30 seconds to this so that you have given enough thought to it and then we discuss. A, B, C, D is equals to 10 factorial and all the variables are natural numbers. Find the minimum value of this. So fundamentally, can anyone tell me? Maybe let me ask Sai. Sai, please tell everyone. Product is constant.
Yes.
Theoretically, when will the sum be minimum? Given this is a natural number, variables can't be equal, right? But at least fundamentally what we know is when product is constant and sum is, and you need to minimize the sum, you need to make the variables as close as possible. Right?
Yeah.
So if I had to make the variables equal, for example, if I had to make A equals to B equals to C equals to D, right? So that this minimum comes out to be equals to that. So what would be the value of ABC? So what I'm saying is if I want to make all the 4 variables equal, this will be e to the power 4 equals to 10 factorial, right? This, so ideally, if this had a solution, this would have been like this would have given me the value for A plus B plus C plus D minimum, right? Because there's nothing but AM equals to GM, which only happens when the variables are equal. So if I solve this, what is this? 10 factorial कितना है? इसमें 2 की power कितनी? I hope you all know how do you calculate power of prime numbers in every factorial, right? You simply do something like this. 2 2s are 4, 2 1s are 2, 5 plus 2 plus 1, 8. So this is 2 to the power 8 into 3 to the power 4 into 5 square into 7. This is what I'm writing 10 factorial as. So if 10 factorial is this, what is the value of A? A is 2 square. This is a to the power 4, right? So I'm just taking the power 1 by 4. 2 square into 3 into 5 to the power 1 by 2 into 7 to the power 1 by 4. What I'm doing is I'm just trying to find an approximate value for A so that if I have the approximate value, then I'll start considering the values nearby that, right? Because that is the basic concept. So 2 to the power 4 into 3, this is 12, right? What is 5 to the power 1 by 2? 10. Somewhere between 2.2, 2.25, right? How do you do it? The best way, at least, that I follow to approximate the values are what? This is or root 500 by 10. What is this? Somewhere between 22 to 23. What is the square of 22?
484.
484.
484. What is the square of 23?
529.
529. Good. So 500 is somewhere between this. So roughly I know this is somewhere between 2.2 to 2.3. For approximation, I'll take it as say 2.25. Okay. Similarly, what is 7 to the power 1 by 4? Let's take root 7 first of all. Same method. Root 7 is this. Root 700 एक इसके बीच में 26 square कितना होता है?
26.
Somewhere between 26 to 27, right? So if this is between 26 to 27, this is what? Between 2.6 to 2.7. Let's take it as 2.65. इसका मुझे वापस से स्क्वायर रूट करना है. Same method. Root 265 by 10. अब बताओ. Root 265 is between what?
2.2.
15 to 60.
Oh,
Yeah.
Right? 6. Right. Say,
Yes.
like 16 square is what? 256, right? So somewhere close to 16, right? So again, iska under root will be somewhere 16 ke around, 16 point something by 10 is what? Approximately 1.6. So 7 to the power 1 by 4 is nothing but roughly 1.6. So that is how you do faster calculations also, right? So now if this is done, how do, like, what is that value for A? A is what? 12 into roughly 2.25 into 1.6. What is this? 12 into 2.25. 12 into 2 is what? 24. 0.25 is what? 1 by 4. 1 by 4 into 12 is 3. So 25 plus 3 is what? 27. So this is what? 27 into 1.6. What is this? 27 plus 27 into 6 is what? Roughly 16.2. So this is what? 43.2 is the value that is coming out to be. Right? I'll not explain this again. This is a simple calculation. I'm showing you how do you solve questions faster. In your DILR, this will help you. So the value of the variables has to be nearby 43 is what we have figured. Right? So again, rewriting this, right? What is this? 10 factorial is nothing but 2 to the power 8 into 3 to the power 4 into 5 square into 7, and the values have to be nearby 43. Of course, can anyone tell me what is the nearest value to 42 for any variable here? You have 7 here. What is the nearest value to 43? 42, 7 into 6, which means you have already consumed 7. So now you can't use 7 for any other variable. 7 into 6 is this, right? So you have already consumed 1 power of 3. You have already consumed 1 power of 2. So this is already done. Now tell me what is the next closest value to 43. So of course, if 44 can't be there because you don't have 11,
45.
42 is taken. 41 is a prime number, can't be there. 45.
40.
No, if 45 can you take? For 45 you just need 9 and 5.
Yeah.
5BA, 9BA. So one variable will be what? 45. If you take 45, 1 5 is gone, 2 3s are gone. So अब सिर्फ इतना बचा. So 45, 41 हो गया. Next is what? 40 and 46. 46 you can't have because you don't have 23. 40 you can have. You have all the numbers. So to have 40, what do you need? 5 into 8. So this 5 will be gone.
And 3 2
8 is gone, right? So 2 to the power 4 will remain. So 2 to the power 4 is 16 into 3. So the fourth variable has to be what? 48. So now you have all the 4 variables close to 43. So your minimum sum will be what? Just sum all of it. 175.
75.
Clear? No rocket science. Method is simple. Numbers have to be as close as possible. And then it's all number crunching. Like the only catch in that approach, Granth, was like wasn't foolproof, right? So you started with a number, you got 178, but then you were not sure on whether there could be any other combination which can give you less than 178 or not. यहाँ से see, at least you also know कि if this question comes in CAT, minimum 1.5 से 2 मिनट तो लगेगा ही. At least I would have left it in round 1. क्योंकि I know it's going to be time consuming. 1.5 मिनट लग जाएगा. So maybe I would attempt it in my round 2. So moving on to the next question. I'm giving this as a homework to you. Again, it's a very advanced problem, but funda is same, right? You have the multiplication, sum ko minimum maximum karna hai, which means in one of the case, numbers have to be as close as possible to each other. And in the second case, numbers have to be as farthest from each other, right? And A, B, C, D are distinct natural numbers that is given to you. So use that condition to break it into format and try to come up with some values. The answers are 20 and 36. But I want you to apply your mind similar to how we did in last few questions. Okay.